Welcome to Bhakti Sagatapa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Advaita Prabhuji to enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam. So thank you so much Prabhuji for giving a valuable appreciation and time. So now I would like to hand over the call to you Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to serve. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, Text 65. Sa esha lokanati chandavego vikarshasi tvam khalu kalayanaha bhutani bhutairanumeya tattvo ghanavalirvayuriva vishaya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear Lord, your absolute authority cannot be directly experienced, but one can guess by seeing the activities of the world that everything is being destroyed in due course of time. The force of time is very strong, and everything is being destroyed by something else, just as one animal is being eaten by another animal. Time scatters everything exactly as the wind scatters cloud in the sky. Purport: the process of destruction is going on according to the law of nature. Nothing within this material world can be permanent, although scientists, philosophers, workers, and everyone else are trying to make things permanent. One foolish scientist recently declared that eventually life will be made permanent through science. Some so called scientists are also trying to manufacture living entities within the laboratory. Thus, in one way or another, everyone is busy denying the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and rejecting the supreme authority of the Lord. However, the Lord is so powerful that He destroys everything in the form of death. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.34, Mrityu sarvaharas chaham, I am all devouring death. The Lord is just like death to the atheists, for He takes away everything they accumulate in the material world. Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad, always denied the existence of the Lord, and he tried to kill his 5-year-old boy due to the boy's unflinching faith in God. However, in due course of time, the Lord appears as Nrsingadev and killed Hiranyakashipu in the presence of his son, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13.47. This killing process is natural. Jivo jivasya jivanam. One animal is food for another animal. A frog is eaten by a snake is eaten by a mongoose, and the mongoose is eaten by another animal. In this way, the process of destruction goes on by the supreme will of the Lord. Although we do not see the hand of the Supreme Lord directly, we can feel the presence of that hand through the Lord's process of destruction. We can see the clouds scattered by the wind, although we cannot see how this is being done because it is not possible to see the wind. Similarly, although we do not directly see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we can see that He controls the process of destruction. The destructive process is going on fiercely under the control of the Lord, but the atheists cannot see it. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we are continuing our discussion on the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, Text 65, where Srila Prabhupada is actually talking about how Krishna's authority cannot be directly experienced. In fact, it's Lord Shiva who is speaking, and Lord Srila Prabhupada explains it a little more, that we cannot actually experience the authority of the Lord directly, but we can guess by seeing the activities of the world. Sometimes people say, well, I do not believe in God, but I believe in there is some power. There is a power which is there, which I call as God. But behind that power, there is a powerful person. If suppose we are walking, and suddenly we get a punch from somewhere, and then that person hides, and we don't see who punched me, who just hit me, or someone hits us from the back and then runs away. We're like, what happened? Will we say, oh, there's some power which came and hit? We'll actually search for that person behind that power. Who is that person behind that power who came and who hit me? This can be experienced by the power of time, as this verse is saying. If we tell the atheists say, what is the proof of existence of God? The simple answer, actually, Srila Prabhupada says it, all the previous acharyas says it, our scriptures say it. Simple answer for proof of existence of God is that you die. We die. And that is the proof of the existence of the Lord. But people feel, oh, this is not proof enough. I die because I die, but that doesn't mean that God is there. Yes, you die. We die, but then the entire creation continues as it is. That means there is someone who is continuing to control things. I'm not controlling. So then who is controlling? Things are going on in some fashion. We die, which means we are forced to die. We are forced to do something we don't want to do. No one wants to die. That means we are under control of some power. And behind that power, there is a powerful person. One time, there is a very famous philosopher called Nietzsche, a German philosopher. He wrote, God is dead, Nietzsche. That's his quote. And then after some time, so it was written on a wall, on his wall, God is dead, dash, Nietzsche. After some years, Nietzsche died. Someone came and said, Nietzsche is dead, God. So God continues. And that's the power of time. We cannot directly experience the authority, but we experience through the agency of time. And time is the destroyer of the world, as Krishna says, Kalosmi lokakshaya krit pravriddho. That time I am, destroyer of the worlds. But time is also the greatest gift that we can give someone. If we can give our time and attention to someone, that's the greatest gift. A child, we can give a child all the toys we want. Do you know what the greatest gift that we can give our child? It's the gift of time that we can spend, the quality time with full attention and care that we spend with a person. That is the greatest gift that we can give. If we say, and that's why we should have very carefully spend our time. We should be very careful how we spend our time because time is being destroyed, but it's also on the other side a gift. If if you get a deal, for example, and that deal says every day I will deposit $86,400 in your bank every day. The first day that I deposit, the only condition is that you have to spend all of the money the same day. You cannot carry forward any of the money that you spend, that you accumulate today, you cannot take it forward tomorrow. If we have that deal, would we take it? Yes, of course we'll take it. And then after the day is done and we have so much remaining, we cannot take it forward the next day. But guess what? Next day, again, $86,400 is deposited. The previous day's $86,400 is gone. Today we have a new $86,400. How careful will we be in spending each of this $86,400? Okay, today let me plan out how I'll spend it so that I can spend I don't waste any of it. If we are grateful for that money, we will be very careful how we spend it. But do you know what? We have this deal every day, we get this deal. Every day, 86,400 seconds, which is equal to 24 hours, is deposited in the bank of our life. How careful should we be to use the time, carefully utilize the time, and not waste it? Because guess what? Once the time goes away, we cannot get it back. The next day, we get another gift of 86,400 seconds. Every second, every moment, how can we serve? How can we utilize in fulfilling this human form of life? If we accept it as a gift, if we think of time as a gift and be grateful for that gift, then we can utilize it properly. If we are not grateful for the gift of time, for the gifts that Krishna is giving us, if we cannot even recognize that it's a gift. But if we are grateful, we will be very, very careful to use it, to not waste it, to not waste that opportunity. Just like if we go, let's understand what does gratefulness mean? Because by being grateful, we can actually be able to utilize this human form of life. But if we are not grateful for the gifts that are given to us, how much ever opportunity is given, we will not be able to recognize that opportunity. We will not be able to use that opportunity properly, and we'll waste it. Therefore, being grateful is a very, very important quality. But what does it mean to be grateful? Just imagine that you go to a store and there is something which is worth $200, $250, and suddenly it's you get it for $100. You'll say, "Wow, I got a deal." The feeling that you get when you feel that you got a deal, that's gratefulness. That's the happiness that comes out of gratefulness. That's the happiness that comes out of understanding I don't deserve this, but I still got it. It's a good deal. That's how we should be grateful to Krishna for the time that He is giving us, for the gifts that He is giving us, because we don't deserve it. If we really think I don't deserve it and I got something which I didn't deserve, we'll always be happy because we'll be like, wow, we'll be celebrating, we got a deal. But if we are not grateful, we'll always be, oh, it was $200. I got it only for $100. Maybe I want it for $50. I should have gotten it for $50 because I'm such a great person. If we keep doing that, we'll always be miserable and we'll lose the opportunity of life. If we celebrate and be grateful for things that are given to us and focus on that rather than things which we don't have or which we think we should have, then our life will just turn miserable. But this gratefulness that we are having, that we got a deal, is not, this happiness out of gratefulness is not because of something that we are great, because we didn't do anything to deserve it. We are celebrating the greatness of God who is giving us this gift. So we have to be very careful. Gratefulness also is not just a celebration, is not because we got a good deal, but is also because we are indebted. We are thankful not to ourselves, not thinking that I'm a great person, but God is great. The person who gave us this deal is great. He is merciful. That is the meaning of gratefulness. Then, if we are in that state of mind, we will be very careful how we utilize our time, how carefully we spend our time. This is very important. Then we will take true shelter of the Lord because we will understand at every moment, be thankful to the Lord for this greatest gift. But atheists, they just don't even care about God, even though this is the proof of existence of God. They don't want to admit it. One foolish scientist, as Prabhupada says, recently declared that eventually life will be made permanent through science. In fact, Walt Disney, he told the scientists that when I die, please cryogenically save my body, store it in some cryogenic way so that when you discover how to bring a person back to life, you can bring me back to life. Is that possible? That's impossible. Because they don't understand the science of soul. We are not this body, we are the soul. Once the soul leaves the body, it cannot come back into the body unless it is directed by the higher powers. We cannot just scientifically do something about it. Real science is to understand the science of soul. Srila Prabhupada challenged the scientists to make even a grain of wheat in the laboratory. Can you make a grain of wheat in the laboratory? In the book Life Comes from Life, Srila Prabhupada challenges a scientist from Sri Lanka. And there is a exchange in the newspaper that comes as a public exchange. Srila Prabhupada challenging, and then the scientist counter-challenging, Srila Prabhupada counter-challenging that counter-challenge, and back and forth. Srila Prabhupada is saying, I challenge you, if you can make even a grain of wheat in the laboratory, I will concede. You cannot even make that. Yes, when you do heart transplantation, or when people say, oh, we can clone. Yeah, but cloning is nothing but using the same apparatus. You have not created the new soul. You've just created conditions good enough so that a soul can now enter. That's all. These are, even when you clone, when the sheeps are cloned, they are two different persons, two different souls. So, in fact, one of the scientists tried, okay, I'll make an artificial cow, and then who will give milk? Who can make a cow who eats grass, green grass, and then gives white milk? Except the Supreme Lord. The scientists tried it. They made an artificial cow who eats grass, and then when it ate grass, green juice came out. They couldn't make milk. They couldn't manufacture milk like that. These are the miracles of life which we just completely ignore, which we can identify only if we are in a state of gratefulness, thanking the Lord every moment for every situation that comes in our life. So this is very important point about time. In fact, uh, time sometimes takes us up, sometimes pulls us down. There used to be a game in 13th century. There was a saint named as Gyandev. Gyandev, he created a children's game which was called as Mokshapatam. I'll describe what this Mokshapatam game is, and you'll see it's very similar to a modern game. This was in 13th century. The game was that this Mokshapatam, there were 100 squares in this Mokshapatam, and there were the 12th square was called faith, the 51st square was called, for example, reliability, the 75th square was called as knowledge, 78th square, for example, asceticism, and these were the squares. If you go to these different squares where you have knowledge and faith and asceticism and reliability, then if you come to those squares, you can move forward quickly. But there were other squares, which were darker squares, which were the 41st square, for example, was disobedience, 44th was arrogance, 49th square for vulgarity, 52nd square for theft, 58th square for lying, 62nd square for drunkenness, all these things, or debt, anger, greed, pride. 96th square was pride. And if you go to these dark squares, you go down. And this Moksha Patam was the game of life. Do you see the similarity with a particular game that we play nowadays? The Britishers later copied it and called it Snakes and Ladders, where on different squares there are ladders, you go to different places, and at some squares there are snakes, you get bit by the snake in that square and you come down. But Moksha Patam was a much more enlightening game. Anyone who played it would actually inculcate the qualities. He would understand, wow, if I have knowledge and faith and reliability and obedience and humility, I will actually rise spiritually. But if I have pride, 96th square, there is a snake who bites, and then you go all the way to square number 3. That's the worst. And that square was called as pride. Because you may be very close to your destination of moksha, but when you have pride, even at the edge of being in moksha, you can fall down back to square one. So the 100th square finally was nirvana. And so these kind of games, they help us build these qualities. And that's what life is all about, the game of life. Sometimes throws us up, sometimes down. But in order to find stability in our life, in spite of all these troubles and tribulations, we have to go deeper. Just like an ocean. Ocean has turbulence and the waves at the top. But if you go deeper, there is serenity. In fact, many people, they go scuba diving inside the ocean just to find that calmness and serenity, because deep down the ocean. Saubari Muni, he meditated down in the ocean. Why? Because there is such calm and peace. there. So if we want to find that kind of stability in our life, in spite of the turbulence of the waves on the top, we have to go deeper into our hearts. We have to go deeper to take shelter of the Lord, to be dependent on the Lord. Then, whether the game of life throws us up or down, we'll always not be affected by that. How do we take shelter? In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the first time we are ever introduced to Krishna is in the chapter The Son of Drona Punished, where after the battle of Kurukshetra, Duryodhan was defeated by Bhima, and Ashwatthama very stealthily he came into the camp of the Pandavas at night, and he beheaded the sleeping sons of Draupadi, the 5 sons. He thought they are Pandavas, and Draupadi was very much sad. She was crying. Arjuna promised her, I will bring you Ashwatthama in front of Draupadi. So Arjuna chased behind Ashwatthama, and fearing for his life, Ashwatthama, he unleashed a weapon which was so ghastly. He unleashed the Brahmastra. He had the power to release Brahmastra, but it should only be released in a when it's for the benefit of the world. But Ashwatthama released it irresponsibly just to save his life from Arjuna, because he couldn't fight Arjuna. He said, here, Brahmastra. Arjuna became very fearful because he wanted to respect Brahmastra. And so he addressed Krishna. This is where the first time we are going to meet Krishna face to face in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, 7th chapter. And Arjuna says, Krishna Krishna Mahabaho, Bhaktanam Abhyankara, Tvameko Dahayamananam, Apavargosi Samsrita. O my Lord Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. And then Krishna speaks for the first time that do not fear. Similarly, we see when someone takes shelter of Krishna, like Arjuna did, Krishna gave protection from fear. Similarly, we just had Ram Navami yesterday. Lord Rama, he said something very similar. When Vibhishan came with 4 of his followers to take shelter of Lord Ram, Hanuman asked them to stay in the air. They had flown, they were staying in the air. They said, wait, we will get back to you. And then Lord Ram took everyone inside the cave. There was Sugriva, there was Jamvan, Lakshmana, Nal, Neel, Hanuman, all these monkey soldiers. And he asked the leaders, what do you think? What should we do? And most of them, they were, well, Vibhishana is the brother of Ravana. How can we give him shelter? Obviously, this is a ploy of Ravana to infiltrate into our army and destroy us. We should not take Vibhishan in. Jamvan said, even if he looks sincere now, but it's very difficult to break the bonds of blood. When Vibhishan comes in the battlefield and he comes face to face with Ravana, he will remember all of the activities that he did while growing up, and he will not be able to fight the way we want him to fight. So we should not take Vibhishan in. And everyone was saying different doubts on Vibhishana. Hanuman in the corner was quiet. Lord Ram looked at Hanuman very lovingly. And he said, Hanuman, what do you think? Hanumanji said, I'm I'm not qualified to give my opinion, but when I was flying to Lanka in search of Mother Sita, I came into Lanka. I was going to find where the Ashok Vatika is. Everywhere it was night, darkness. But from one house, I heard the name of Ram coming out of that house. And I went there and I saw Vibhishana taking your name, my dear Lord. So if you ask me, I trust Vibhishana. He's your devotee. And Lord Ram, when he heard Hanuman, he became very, very grave. And he said a very important verse in Ramayana. Sakrideva prapanno yas tavasmiti jayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etat vratam mama. It is my vow that if one only once sincerely surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, tava asmi, tavasmi chayachate, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. This is Lord Ram's promise. And then the immediate next verse, he says, what to speak of Vibhishan? If even Ravana comes now, I will give him shelter. I will forgive him and give him shelter. If Ravana comes to me and says, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours. Tavasmi sayachite. So let us pray, Tavasmi. This is declaring true dependence on God. It's not just words that I'm yours. It means I'm yours whatever happens. I'm depending just on you. Because I've realized that everything else in this world is not dependable. Asat Sainik. These are all fallible soldiers. When we realize that our wealth, our beauty, our talents, our property, our bank balance is not going to help us at the time of death or at any moment, at any point. We are surrounded by this coronavirus now. We, we may have all the resources to go out and do things, but we just can't. We are so helpless. How will our money, our bank balance, our property, our beauty, our knowledge, how can it help us to go out? We can't even step out. But if we surrender to the Lord within our heart and we take shelter, Krishna, I'm yours and you are mine. I'm depending on you. I will do what you say and please protect me. Then Krishna will follow that. And when Arjuna prayed to Krishna, Krishna awarded the protection. And Arjuna then counteracted Brahmastra of Ashwatthama, and he bound Ashwatthama and brought him in front of Draupadi. And Draupadi asked to release Ashwatthama because he's the son of Drona. Everyone accepted that except Bhima. And then Arjuna said, okay, we will release him, but we will remove his jewel on his forehead and shave his head, and then perform the last rite for all his relatives. Similarly, we can see Lord Ram, he favored Sugriva over Bali. Because sometimes when two devotees are having some problems, Sugriva was a devotee, Bali was also a devotee of Lord Ram. And when Lord Ram vanquished Bali, when Bali was on his deathbed, in terms of he was just lying down there, he prayed to Lord Ram. Lord Ram came to him and he prayed to Lord Ram. Bali said, "What did I do, my lord? I'm also your devotee. I also would glorify. In fact, if you had employed me in your service, I would have defeated Ravana for you because I've already defeated him once." Bali was very powerful. He had actually defeated Ravana once. He had taken him in his arms and, given him a noogie and left him. Bali said, "I would have killed Ravana. I have the power. I'm more powerful than Sugriva. I'm eager to serve you. Why did you kill me? Why did you put this arrow?" And Lord Ram said, "Well, because I am the Lord of the impoverished. I did not like the way you treated Sugriva, taking his wife and banishing him. Therefore, I had to give you this punishment, but at the time of death, I'm coming in front of you. You will attain a supreme destination as well, being killed by me." Similarly, we see there are so many similarities between how devotees of Krishna take shelter and then how devotees of Lord Ram take shelter. Queen Kunti, she prayed. She prayed that Pahi Pahi Mahayogin, Deva Deva Jagatpate, Nanyam Tvad Abhayam Pashye, Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. As Krishna was preparing to leave from Hastinapur to Dwarka, he was sitting on his chariot and Uttara came running towards him. And Uttara, she said, Uttara was pregnant with Parikshit. And she said, "O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, protect me. Pahi Pahi Mahayogi, Deva Deva Jagatpate, Na Anyam Tvad Abhayam Pashye." There is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. And when Uttara went to Krishna to protect for his womb, for her womb, Krishna actually asked her, "Why are you coming to me, Uttara? You have Arjuna, he is your father-in-law. You have all the Pandavas. You have a whole army there to protect you. Why are you coming to protect me? Asking for protection from me?" And Uttara said, "Yes, I have very, very powerful people in my family who can protect me, but they protect by taking life, by killing people. I have come to you for protection to save life, to save the life of my child in my womb. That no one can provide except you. You can save life. You can protect by saving life. They protect by taking life. Therefore, I am completely dependent on you." And when Krishna heard that Uttara was very, very confident in her faith of being dependent on Krishna alone, then Krishna appeared in the womb of Uttara and saved Maharaj Parikshit. Of course, Krishna is always there everywhere as Paramatma. It's not like he entered the womb of Uttara. He was there as Paramatma. He just manifested himself in a way that protected Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj saw that glimpse of this beautiful personality. And when he came out of the womb, he was always searching and examining everyone. "Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Are you Krishna? Are you the same beauty that I saw?" And his name became Parikshit. Similarly, we see that there is so much similarity between Queen Kunti and Shabri Mata. Queen Kunti was the way Queen Kunti surrendered, the way Shabari surrendered is similar, because Kunti, she abandoned, she was abandoned because she had no husband and she was the mother of Pandavas. And because of that, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, they banished her and her sons. They were always trying to kill her and her sons. So Queen Kunti was banished, was abandoned. And in Ram's pastime, Shabari Mata was also abandoned because she was from a lower caste. Kunti had association of Krishna throughout her life in spite of being abandoned. But Shabari, she did not have personal association of Lord Ram, but she had the association in her mind, because when her guru was leaving this world, her guru told, she was so devoted to her guru. Shabari told her guru, I want to come with you, I want to die with you. But her Guru Maharaj told, Rishi Matanga told Shabari, no, you stay and you wait for Lord Ramachandra. He will come and bestow his blessings upon you. And taking that instruction of her Guru to her heart, she always associated with Lord Ramachandra in her mind. And one day, Lord Ramachandra came because Shabari had faith in the words of her Guru, who told that Rama would come, and he came. Similarly, Kunti had faith in the physical presence of Krishna in her life. And that's why Kunti said, I don't want peace, I want calamities. Please give me as many calamities that you can, because when calamities are there, you are there. Vipada santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru Bhavato darshanam yat syad apunar bhavadarshanam. I wish that these calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and death. This was the faith with which Kunti surrendered. So when we surrender, when we take shelter, we must have absolute dependence on Krishna, knowing that nothing else can save except Krishna. Krishna likes that. Krishnaika Sharanam, it is said there are 26 qualities of a devotee, but the primary quality is Krishnaika Sharanam, that he takes shelter of Krishna alone. And when Krishna sees that someone is depending on me alone, then he comes. He arranges things, and sometimes he personally comes. Just like with Draupadi, when he understood that Draupadi, she is being disrobed and she is just now has no other options, completely depending on Krishna, then Krishna came to help her. Similarly, we can see how Bhishma Dev took shelter of Krishna, and it is very similar to how Jatayu took shelter of Lord Ramachandra. It is said Bhishma Dev, when he was in his bed of arrows, there is wonderful prayers of Bhishma. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Matirupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni Swasukham Upagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritim Upeyushi Yad Bhava Pravaha. Bhishma Dev said, let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties. Let me engage it in the service of all powerful Lord Krishna. He is always self satisfied, but sometimes Being the leader of devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending in the material world, although from him only the material world is created. Similarly, Jatayu also passed away in the arms of Lord Ramachandra, just like Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev had the benediction to choose the day and time of his death. Like we were discussing, this whole verse is about time, is about death. I am. Actually, we die every moment. Every moment, each of the cells of our body get regenerated. We die every moment we die. And finally, when the soul leaves the body to another body, that we define as death. So it's very important how we respect time and how we react to death. Just like Bhishma Dev, he reacted to death by praying to Sri Krishna. In text 40 of this chapter, Bhishma Dev talks about Vrajavadhus, how they imitated the pastimes in remembrance of Krishna. So we understand how Bhishma Dev is referring to Gopi Geet. Similarly, Jatayu, when he died, when he left his body, he was holding on to his breath just so Lord Ram can come and he can give the news to Lord Ram. Just like Bhishma Dev was holding his breath to have a glimpse of Krishna before he leaves his body. Jatayu's elder brother, Sampati, was a good friend of Dashrath. And Jatayu wanted to leave his body after seeing Lord Ramachandra and delivering the message. So in this way, we can understand how we should deal with death by taking shelter of the Lord, by declaring our dependence on Him, because we really cannot depend on anything else. We have no choice. It's just a matter of realizing that we have no choice. And that can happen only if we are grateful, only if we are thankful, truly from our heart. And if we are not feeling thankful, let us pretend that we are feeling thankful. Let us act as if we are feeling thankful. And then Krishna will give us the eyes, the vision to see miracles, to be grateful in everyday life. So, with this, we end today's discussion. If there are any questions or comments, we can take now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class, for enlightening class. So many lessons to learn from so many classmates and devotees. So thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
So now I will request devotees, if they have any questions or comments for Prabhuji, they can ask now.
Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So, Prabhuji, you were talking about the game Moksha Pad, and you said the name who created that game?
Who created that game?
Yeah.
Gyandev in 13th century. I think he was from Maharashtra.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I just wanted to say thank you for such a beautiful class and the reminders for us to have gratitude and to be grateful for everything that we have in Krishna consciousness. It's such a beautiful gift that we've all been able to practice as devotees in this lifetime. It's just amazing. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right, if there are no more questions, we can end here. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
अनंत कोटिवेश्वरम की जय, रामकृष्ण श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय।
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय,
Hare Krishna.
अद्वैत प्रभु की जय।
जय।
सो मच प्रभु जी।
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.